Hello, hello, my beauties and bees, and welcome to Creation Watch. We are finally breaking the champagne bottle off on the the stern of the Mud Fossil University. Yeah, so that's where we're going today, and this just popped in, and I watched like the first 30 seconds of it and couldn't stop laughing. It's 19 and a half minutes long, and hopefully we can get some good laughs out of this. So sit back and relax because we are going to visit Mud Fossil University. Was the feathered serpent a real creature? What's the evidence? What the evidence? What evidence is there today to prove my claim? Yeah, my reading comprehension's kind of shot this morning. Sorry, but we're going to keep going because we got Quetzlcloaca, and we're gonna see what Roger can teach us about it.
Okay, my friends, this is about to become extremely interesting.
Extremely interesting.
Quetzalcoatl is a deity in the Aztec culture and literature.
True.
Among the Aztecs, he was related to wind, Venus, sun, merchants, arts, crafts, knowledge, and learning. All right, he was also the patron god of the Aztec priesthood. Now, this is very, very interesting to me because I know of the gods of mythology and the Greek gods.
I like Camazotz, the vampire bat god of the Aztec Empire. Check that guy out; he's badass.
But this is also basically the same thing, only it was on the other side of the ocean. And apparently they didn't even know anything about these guys. That's what it looks like to me. Now you say, oh, Roger, that's just something they made up to scare the kids. No, it isn't. That's what Quetzalcoatl looks like. He had a feathered headdress looking thing, and he was all feathered serpent.
Yes, he's a feathered serpent. This is the stylized image, obviously. There was like no just wait. We're gonna get to what Quetzalcoatl looked like, but or what he thinks Quetzalcoatl is. But this is, I believe, this is representing that he's a god that you sacrifice people to, a god that's hungry for blood sacrifice, is what this image is supposed to represent.
He had a little beard here, and that's what he looked like. And here
Where's
he is
the
showing
beard? Wait,
some.
do you not know what a beard is? Do you guys see a beard? Why does it look like this has been edited, though? Look at that. See, the rest of it's closed in by this black line, and that's opened up into the human. Was that person put in secondarily, maybe? What happened with the jaw there? Why is it not closed?
Kind of huge, giant creature, and that's a human. Because I'm going to tell you, when you see the size of Quetzalcoatl, the size of this guy, it's almost impossible to figure this out. Well, basically it is impossible. Because here's what Quetzalcoatl is, and here he is right here. That's Quetzalcoatl. There's his feathered headdress. There's his...
So I guess it was a minute and a half, and when I died laughing, because do you guys recognize what we're looking at? Do you know what this is?
This color is from his body. Around it is from where the runoff is, where things grow green. There's his little beard. Remember his beards? There's his beards coming down right here. This is his head.
I'm going to choke myself. Oh, okay. Let me go back a few seconds here.
Green. There's around it is from where the runoff is, where things grow.
Okay, this is the Mississippi Valley. This is the Mississippi River Valley. That's what you're looking at here. This is where the Mississippi runs down. This lighter green patch is the Mississippi River Valley floodplain, which has been cleared out for farming because we farm close to the rivers. You can also see where the Missouri River cuts up through there, but not so much. You got the Ozark Mountains and the southern swamps over here, the swamps in East Texas, Arkansas, and you have the different coloration because there's forests and highlands, and here here's the Appalachian Mountains, and here's more swampland down here, and this is the Appalachian Mountains over here. I think this is just the Tennessee Highlands. But yeah, this is not. So the clearing of the Mississippi Valley of trees into the shape of, it doesn't look like a dragon or a serpent to me, but I guess a river looks like a serpent, so a river valley is going to look like a serpent to someone like Roger. Hopefully this gets better.
Green. There's his little beard. Remember his beards? There's his beards coming down right here. This is his head. This is his throat, and all of this goes right up and it swings all the way up and goes all the way up the East Coast. All the way up the East Coast.
Oh, wait a second.
That is Quetzlcloaca, my friends.
So the Mississippi Valley is his head. Just his head, though. And the beard that he talked about was not in that other image, but it's whatever this river system is here. That's what he's calling the beard. And then he goes, okay, so he's claiming it goes like this. Up Quetzalcoatl is his body is the Appalachian Mountains. Is that the claim? Appalachia. Sorry, Sandy. I know you think it's so silly when how I say it up here in Missouri or Illinois. I guess I'm in Illinois now, but my accent's Missouri accent. But yeah, the Appalachian Mountains are a giant serpent. Who knew?
All the way up the East Coast. That is Quetzalcoatl, my friends. And this is also Quetzalcoatl.
But there's no beard.
And he looks exactly...
What beard? What beard are you talking about? Does anybody see a beard on this image? Is it just me? Am I missing the beard? Is he talking about the, whatever the guy's tunic or whatever hanging out of his mouth? That's not a beard. That's something belonging to this dude. You can see because it matches the rest of his cloth. And there's... I think these are supposed to be the serpent's teeth, but...
the same. And you don't think those are feathers? I can prove to you they're feathers. You want to see feathers on top of his head? I'll show you. Okay, take your time.
So yeah, it's a as Beamsy points out, a South American deity in North America, right? But he's looking at South America. But he's looking at it, right? Isn't this so convincing, guys? Probed. Maya.
And look at this. Don't forget, there's his beard, this is his head, and this is the feathered headdress.
Okay.
You see the different color here? No.
The feathered headdress is the Ozark Mountains. Well, what is this? This is I think this is the... This might be... It's hard to see with this orientation, but I think this might be either Missouri. I guess this is the Missouri River Valley, and that this is the White River down here, underneath the feather right now. But what he's saying is the headdress is the Missouri River Valley, and then south of it is the Ozarks. These are the Ozarks right here. And this is just the forested region between, before you get to Kansas and in central Missouri. Okay. Just trying to get my bearings. He's got it all disoriented. The only thing that's keeping me able to keep track of it is having Lake Michigan over here to give me some sort of guidance. So this would be Chicago, and then I can locate, St. Louis and stuff. Yeah.
These are feathers, and I can show you they're feathers. You see this right here? That right there, my friends, is a feather. And this right here, my friends, is also a feather. Now, it takes a while for this thing to sink in, and you'll be able to actually see this right here. You see this? That's the center right here. You see that?
Oh, my goodness. It's just a feather.
That's exactly the same as this.
And then
exactly the feathers run off this way. And there's another one right over here.
That's not how runoff comes off of a levee. No, that's
all right, these are his headdress feathers. And they run all up in here.
You're in the
Now,
mountain range.
these snakes, or, well, I guess he's a serpent, but he snakes all the way up the East Coast. Now, I'm going to show you something, Luray Caverns, which is in the bowels of the beast.
He's going to show us its cloaca.
All right, all creatures have guts. They all have a digestive system that I know of. Now, here he is running all the way up, and this is into the digestive system, and his guts are right in here. Now, and does he go further up the coast? Absolutely. You see up here? These are still his feathers. You see,
Like
these
those
are still his feathers.
Catskills, right?
And
Catskills?
feathers make things grow extremely green. So now we come back here to Luray Caverns. Now let's go inside and look at Luray Caverns. Now I have looked at this extremely carefully, and I know exactly what it is. Well,
He knows exactly what it is. It's snake poon. It's a cloaca.
or less. All right, so here's Luray Caverns. We're going to go inside in a second. You see
Look,
these here?
That's a
I
snake.
believe this is like in a digestive area where there's some tubing
Obviously.
and so forth that runs through the digestive system. And of course,
Obviously.
there's the feathers that cover.
That's snaky. Look how snaky it is. It's obvious. It's obvious. Look, it's up here too. Snaky, snaky, snaky. It's nothing to do with this being a mountain range. Nothing at all. With these being looped up in mountain valleys, the road diving up and down into the mountain valleys and the feet of the mountains sticking out. No, it's not that. Not at all. This is snake intestines.
Cover up. And look up here. Look at this. I believe this is all digestive area. This whole area in here, and Luray Caverns over here is, it's an organ, but I'm not exactly sure of the organ, but I think it might be part of a kidney. All right, now this is what you find in Luray Cavern, and you find it in all of these caverns. Now these are huge empty voids under the ground. Why are they empty voids, and why do they have these kind of formations, these gooey looking things?
Have you ever seen how limestone deposits in cave systems? We can actually like track the growth of this stuff, so we know these things are happening naturally through processes that are understood. There's speleology, which is the study of caves, and we track the growth and changes and formations in caves, these limestone formations. Sometimes some cool stuff gets uncovered as they erode or as they grow, depending on the situation.
And there's water bubbling up inside there, flowing over, and it just keeps getting more and more deposits of this kind of strange-looking architecture. And they're everywhere. There's a ton of different caverns. And in every one of these caverns, they have these type of
stalactites, stalagmites, and pillars. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's the kind of stuff that forms in caves.
Okay, my friends, this is Luray Caverns, and it's absolutely enormous inside there.
You can get married
and
in
there's
there.
a couple of people standing here looking at these formations. Now, what is all this dribbling, gooey-looking stuff running all over
Gooey
inside
looking.
here?
It's rocks. It's not gooey. You can touch them. They're rocks. We actually know what it's made out of and everything. It's lime deposits with some calcite and stuff in it too. It's very similar in composition to like quicklime.
And I mean, it's everywhere. You see it? This stuff is everywhere in here.
Everywhere, he says.
Look at these.
And it's definitely gooey.
Why
It's
is
not
it dripping
rocks.
down like that?
It's not. It's goo. It's not. It's dripping.
Why is it
It's
formed
not
like
stones.
this?
Because of gravity. Because of gravity pulling the water down. So when water gathers at the top or comes down through the cracks or forms up from a riverway or the groundwater up above, it flows down through there and drips. And as it goes down through, it collects minerals. And those minerals are left behind when the water drips down. And then when the water drips down, the minerals are left behind in a pile underneath. So you get a stalactite and a stalagmite. We know this process very well. It's so funny, but it's gooey organs, right?
Well, I can tell you why. It's biology. This was biology. That's the guts of Quetzalcoatl.
Cloaca knot.
All right,
I like
so we
that.
know what Quetzalcoatl looks like. There he is
Do we,
right there.
though?
And it appears to be he was eating. They must have been titans. Those are much bigger than normal giants. If that's the size of his head, that's hundreds of miles.
Yeah,
So
that's him eating a titan now. We've decided that this can't be just a normal guy he's eating. It's got to be a titan because Quetzalcoatl is the size of, he's the Appalachian Mountains, right? So now that we've decided that a Central American deity is his head's the Mississippi Valley and his headdress is the Ozark mountain range, and his body is the Mississippi Valley or the Appalachian Mountains.
So these are not little puppies. All right, so check this out now. Here he is eating a guy. That's his head. Just think the guy would be out here somewhere, be absolutely,
Yeah,
all I can tell you is the only one that spoke about this.
He's swimming in the Gulf of Mexico, and the snake's all like, "Gulp." Yeah, you think you'd be that big, you could just take a swim wherever you want, like Gulf of Mexico, and be a nice shallow little pool for you. But nope, giant snake's not having it. And despite the snake being the size of a continent, he just didn't see it coming and couldn't get away.
Huge creatures was Jesus Christ. I know it sounds insane, but he said,
Quetzalcloaca, I love it. Oh, you guys, you're killing me. Oh, what else do we got? Sneakum, Snussy, Sneakaki. Guys, stop.
whoever discovers the earth is going to discover a body and corpses, or corpses in a body, or that type of thing. And he said, when you figure this out, you're going to be really disturbed and amazed, and that's a fact.
I would love to find a
Well, check this
continent-sized
out.
skeleton. That'd be
A buddy of
awesome.
mine down there, Greg Morrison, found this feather on the side of the road. This is a road. This thing's huge. And he chopped this piece off for me right here. And that's it right there. It's exactly like a turkey feather. Same color and everything. That's the top and that's the bottom. You see how thick that piece of feather is?
I said, if this was a roadway, wasn't this like cut to be like that? Like, didn't they cut that for the road to go through? I mean, I'm just speculating here, but these look like machined cuts.
It's got to be a minimum of 1,000 times thicker than this. And all that is, this piece right here is what's in between these. It's like one of those pieces. This isn't a whole feather. This is the pieces go between each other. It's absolutely enormous. But this is still not as big as it would be for Quetzalcoatl, because I figured this out, and I came to, hold on a second. Okay. This has got to be a minimum of 1,000 times bigger than a regular feather. So even if you took 1,000 times,
well, I think that feather is probably 1,000 times bigger than like a hummingbird feather, though. But this would be a lot more than more orders of magnitude. Roger, think bigger with what you're talking about here. This would be like a thunderbird feather or something.
2-foot long turkey, and they're about to say that. That's 2,000 feet. That's not even half a mile. This thing is. This wouldn't even be an amoeba to Quetzalcoatl. This thing wouldn't even. It would be like dust. Something this big, 20, 30 miles long, whatever. it would be nothing.
Paul Bunyan, yeah, that could be Paul Bunyan.
This thing runs up the whole East Coast, thousands of miles.
Thousands of miles, guys.
To me, I can't see how you can dispute that. And Luray Caverns is the guts. And when I show you where it dumps into, that should shock you.
Are we going to see that?
This is hysterical.
Show us that hoo-ha, Roger. Show us that cloaca. Quetzalcloaca. Yeah, that's what this video is going to be called, the Quetzalcloaca. Thank you, Tsunami. That name is sticking.
This is Luray Caverns. That's the digestive system. From there, you got urine or you got poop, one or the other. And it sort of filters down here, and then it comes down here, and then guess where it goes? into Washington, D.C. Okay, it's just what it is.
This actually checks out. I'm convinced now, Roger. I wasn't before, but that explains so much about DC. And again, said in the previous segment, but not in this show tonight, tune in for the Halloween special because we have the Ghost Cat of Washington, D.C. coming up. Woo!
Quetzalcoatl poops into Washington, D.C. Now, there's urine and there's poop in
Not in a reptile, though. In a reptile, in most things, there's just a cloaca. Only placental mammals really have the division of labor, if you will, of those two. Most species have their reproductive and solid and liquid waste all in one. Are you saying that this feathered serpent has mammalian digestive tract now? Interesting.
reptiles and in avian creatures, birds. And he qualifies for both.
Wait, what?
Avian creatures, birds. In reptiles, there's just what it is. Quetzalcoatl poops into Washington, D.C. Now, there's urine and there's poop in reptiles and in avian creatures, birds. And he qualifies for both.
Birds are reptiles, though. Let's not forget that. Birds are definitely reptiles. Definitely. If a crocodile's a reptile, a bird's a reptile.
Don't forget, Luray Cavern's right over here. And it dumps all of its stuff right down here into Washington, D.C. And then it runs out, all this poop, or whatever it is. The two of them joined together. Where do you see this? This blew my mind. So here's Washington, and it is basically the anus.
I heard it. He puts the R in Washington. He says Washington. Yay.
So here's Washington, and it is basically the anus of Quetzalcoatl. Look at this, because they have poop and they have urine, and the two of them come together, and this is where they're coming together right here. So whatever this is, look at this thing here. What is that?
A sandbar.
What the hell is that? Did they put those pipes in there sometime?
Those aren't pipes.
Are those pipes, or are those some kind of organ? I don't know what it is. But it looks like it's a natural thing. I don't think this is anything accidental that's just showing up here. And
it
then
is
it
interesting
all,
looking.
Whatever it is out of there comes out of here. And you don't see that until you get way deep down in. And that is below the surface. This is minus 24 feet. Over here, it's minus 24 feet, pretty much all the way across. Minus 16, minus 35. Over here, it's minus 52. So it's running down and out.
Yeah, that's what rivers tend to do.
This is all that muddy, dirty, nasty water coming out of Quetzalcoatl's digestive system.
So you acknowledge that Quetzalcoatl would be a reptile or a avian, which both have a cloaca and not two separate tracks for solid and liquid waste.
Call it that. And it's going right in the right place.
Well, you think that'd be very fertile soil, unless these are kaiju that have like a radioactive waste or something. But it looks pretty fertile to me. Everything's green.
Life. All right, you might want to go up and look at some of this stuff. Luray Cavern is the largest cave system on the East Coast. Mm-hmm. Get out of town. All right, this is another place, Bryce Canyon. They say it's sedimentation and erosion and liquefaction. No, this is the guts of something. It's not uplift. It's not any of that stuff. They came up with all kinds
it's erosion.
of
it's actually literal erosion that you can see still happening. See those streaks coming down? That's the higher layer of mineral washing down over the lower layer of mineral in a process called erosion. The red stone generally has higher iron in it that's being oxidated.
Theories, it's biology. It has nothing to do with that stuff. So here's Carlsbad Caverns. Same thing. These are all different creatures. Quetzalcoatl was not just a one-off. They're everywhere. The Earth is made out of the bodies of creatures. Now, this is a Gnostic text, but this is supposedly written by Doubting Thomas, who was Jesus Christ's scribe. He wrote down exactly what he said. These are the secret sayings the living, alive Jesus Christ spoke. And Doubting Thomas wrote down in these hidden texts.
Is Jesus going to be talking about Quetzalcoatl? Really? And Bree, the reason he pointed out the beard is because Quetzalcoatl is called the bearded god. Yeah, that's why not Hernando de Soto, but Cortez. That's why they thought Cortez was, well, according to legend anyway. I don't know if that's actually something that holds out. This is what I was taught when I was in school, is that because Cortez had a beard, they thought that he was the god.
Discovered in 1945. All of this is very, very, it's crazy to be honest with you, but it appears to be true to me. Jesus said, let him who seeks continue seeking until he finds. When he finds, he will become troubled. Absolutely. When he becomes troubled, he will be astonished, and he will rule over the all, whatever that means. But I know at 56 and 80, I think it is.
The hell did we just jump over to the Bible here?
Jesus said, whoever has come to understand the world has found only a corpse. As I just showed you, there's nothing but dead. It's nothing but dead. Whoever has found a corpse is superior to the world. Well, I don't know about that, but...
Sounds like something someone would say like, around a campfire while passing around a joint. That's what it sounds like to me. And I think that's a lot of what the Jesus and Thomas and the boys spent a lot of time doing. Jesus would drop some little nuggets like that. I think probably... Didn't Jesus... who was it that the magician or whatever, that John the Baptist, yeah, didn't he learn a lot of his proverbs and stuff from John the Baptist? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I may be mistaken, but it was my understanding that Jesus was under the tutelage of John the Baptist, at least for a short time in his career as a prophet.
If you let your mind understand what you see, you are superior to the world. The world is lost. Jesus said, he who has recognized the world has found a body. He who has found a body is superior to the world. I'm telling you, it's disgraceful what has happened to humanity. And I'm not...
So, yeah, good question, Titan. So what is the relation to the serpent and Jesus? Is it a pet owner and pet situation? Is Jesus like Aaron and just really in Aaron and Matt Dillahunty and really into reptiles and herping? Because he could probably meet them halfway. They've been begging to talk to him for decades. I'm new on the scene, but Matt Dillahunty and Aaron Ra are both just into keeping snakes like Jesus apparently is. So maybe you could try that angle to engage with them.
I'll tell you right now, I never had a religious upbringing whatsoever, and I laughed at religion because I had no evidence, none, zero. Well, now the evidence is overwhelming. So I'm going to tell you what, if you got kids, I'd start to teach them how to pray and how to try to find Jesus Christ, because he came back here to tell us, this is insane.
Great.
This world is insane that you're living in, absolutely insane.
What else we got here? The foxes have their holes and the birds have their nest. But the Son of Man has no place to lay his head and rest. Ooh, that's rhymes.
Insane. And you better find me, Jesus Christ, or it's not me, you better find Jesus Christ. And that's what he said, find him. And you will have an everlasting life in a place where people are good to each other. And that's just done. That is all over now. All right, I'm going to sort of wrap it up before too long. I mean, it's so obvious, it's hard to discuss it.
He's going to wrap it up
with anybody because there's nothing they can say other than, oh, that's just erosion, just like they say. Now, this is by...
It is erosion. That's exactly... It's not just that this is a still and we say we have a still of the erosion process. We just have a still of it, and that's all we know. We can actually monitor the process happening in real time. We can see the erosion happening. We can see the weather patterns having a impact on the face of these canyon walls. It's not just something, oh, we speculate that this is what happened thousands of years ago. No, this is something that's still happening now. We still see this happening now. That's how nature works. It didn't just go on pause once humans showed up on the scene.
And look at the sky. This is at 42 seconds out. This is Bryce Canyon. That's another place. Well, what's behind him? There's a gigantic waterfall. What's the water doing way up there? Why is there a gigantic waterfall? I can tell you why. There's an artery inside that.
There's a gigantic waterfall up there, probably because there may be some glaciers up there, but there's also the seasonal freeze that thaws out. And yeah, that's how precipitation works. It falls up high and then runs down low.
Or this could be literally a heart. And the water the ground pressure is pushing it up through that void, and it's coming down here as a waterfall. And I mean,
should it be blood then? That'd be cool. A blood waterfall. There'd be so many heavy metal concerts at the base of this waterfall if it was a blood fountain. They'd have like deathcore bands playing there all the time.
Powerful. I'd love to have a discussion with some of the experts. Listen to what she has to say. She's with the Park Service.
What NASA can see from space can help us understand what's deep in our forests.
I agree. I'd love to have a discussion. I'm going to try to get a hold of Nancy.
Is this Bigfoot warming around back in here?
Philippi. And then if anybody can get a hold of anybody and put them onto my channel, Mud Fossil University on YouTube, and I have all kinds of things that upend a lot of the stuff we're being told. And we have to have discussions about it. To have everything swept under the carpet and hidden is just not right. And that's what's happening now, because I've made contact with literally everybody. And I either get no response whatsoever, or you're a tinfoil hat guy, go away. That's it. So
you aren't, Roger, don't let them put you down like that. You are the tinfoil hat guy. You are king of the tinfoil hat people. I will vote for you. Actually, speaking of, the Potholer just released the golden crocoduck for the year, so check that out. It's a familiar face.
Somebody's going to have to be able to get through to somebody that's in a position that can discuss this. And most of the people that are in a position that can discuss this are scared to death to speak of it. It's just like in politics. If you tell the truth, you're out. If you lie like hell, you're in. That's the way it works nowadays. Lie as good as you can lie, and just keep lying. And everybody will have to follow your lies. Otherwise, they'll be destroyed. It's unbelievable. Society has just...
I'll talk to Roger, though, Aunt Jer. I'll talk to Roger for days. I would love that. Roger, come talk to me. I'll bring Maya with me. Maya has questions. I know she does.
It's been collapsed. Okay, I want to show you something that was written 800 BC. And this was translated by Cambridge and Harvard and London, William, all this. You know, this is very, very fully understood now. And this was the Greek myth. And it starts out with the sky ruled over the whole world. And they had sex. And they had all of these kind of monsters and so forth. Let's go with the birth of Zeus, the war of the Titans, Olympian gods. Let's just go up to where I can prove that this is accurate.
This is, ancient Greeks, all the elements of reality were covered by one deity or another. Like indiscriminately, they were flawed individuals too. So they had sexual relationships and adultery and wrath and all that stuff. They were very much personifications of the element, like you said up here, the sky and the earth being wed and giving birth to the Titans.
War of the Giants. I've got giants coming out of my ears. Typhon. Who was Typhon? Typhon was another dragon. All right, Zeus smote and destroyed with the other giants. Zeus smote and destroyed with thunderbolts. All of them Hercules shot with arrows as they were dying. This is the ancient myths. Everybody laughed like hell at this. I don't laugh anymore. When the gods had overcome the giants,
Okay.
Earth was more enraged and had intercourse with Tartarus and brought forth Typhon. Typhon was a man and beast, a hybrid between the two, and he surpassed everything. And he
Yeah,
was
so I don't know why you. I don't know if they consider Typhon a dragon. Is Typhon a dragon? I thought Typhon was just like a giant monster.
so big he outtopped all the mountains. His head often brushed the stars. And he was fire flashed from his eyes. He spit out all this.
He has
nasty
hundreds of
toxin.
dragons. He has hundreds of dragons' heads, though. You skip over that part because it doesn't fit your Quetzalcoatl claims here.
And guess where Typhon was? Here he is right over here. And he's as big as Quetzalcoatl. Oh, I was looking at the Marrakesh thing, see if I could relate it to Typhon.
We already looked
I really
at this
can't,
one.
to be honest with you. But
We didn't look at it with Roger, though. We looked at it with somebody else. But the dragon across North Africa.
they are extracting a lot of oil in that area, and I looked into it anyway. Forget about that. Here's Typhon. There he is right there. There's his head. Here's his beards. They all had beards.
No,
Here's
those are
his
beards.
right
Not definitely not river valleys. These are definitely beards, not river valleys.
And he was spitting out all this nasty stuff,
He was
trying
drunk,
to kill
maybe.
this giant fish. Now, I've gone over this minimum 500.
This is a giant fish. Keep that in mind, guys. This is the dragon eating a giant fish. Maybe it's a spinosaur eating a giant sawfish.
times.
North Africa.
So I'm not going to go over it again. Here he is from here
Should
over
I
to
start smacking my desk during the show? Do y'all like that? Smack the desk?
here. He runs the whole North Africa. And he has a pooper too. And here's where he poops right here. And the two of them come together. The green side is the poop, and this is their urine. And they flow together right out of here.
But again, you said it's avian and reptiles. Ravians and reptiles
And
don't
here's his
have
throat, comes
two streams.
all the way down. And Zeus smote him with his great and mighty sword, which is a thunderbolt, cut his neck right there. He bled out in the desert. This is all dragon scales that run all the way down his throat.
Not mountains.
Like I said, I got 500 videos on it, minimum. So that's all I'm going to do for this one. The whole earth, as Jesus Christ said, is a body and a corpse. And when you find out, you're going to be disturbed.
So, like Zeus would have been what? Zeus isn't Jupiter. Is Zeus Jupiter? But yeah, so he struck the earth. So there was a big dragon crawled around on the earth, so he struck it with a thunderbolt. Neato. All right, that was a wild ride. Roger's always a wild ride. Thank you for joining us in Creation Watch with our Quetzlcloaca and Mud Fossil University. Hope you enjoyed it, and please remember to be kind. Take care, and we will see you next time.
Join us for our Halloween special, a fundraiser to help Skeptic Haven become a charity organization.
Skeptic Haven provides a healthy community and safe space to its members. In addition, producing shows that provide informative videos highlighting science, religion, and current events, both domestic and abroad. Please join us the evening of October 28th for our first Halloween fundraiser to get funds for our 501c3 and other expenses. We have many well-known YouTube content creators coming on. Come join in the fun.
Are you ready for the show?